got a chance to see Subservience with Megan Fox on Netflix. Let's talk about it right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. I am your host, Frank Zanka. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. And yeah, we're going to talk about Subservience with Megan Fox that released on Netflix. It's also available to rent and buy on Prime. And this is a brand new film that was just released. I think it's a couple of weeks now. It's been out. Yeah, it's very interesting because I did some research on the film. And the film was shot in Bulgaria, with a city named Sofia. And it was produced for around $4.2 million. And I don't know how these guys get these deals with Netflix and stuff like that, because it's directed by S.K. Dale, of which I've never heard of the guy before. And he's done literally nothing. He's done one film, which I don't know if he wrote it, but he definitely directed it, called Till Death, where he worked with Megan Fox, which is obviously how he just called her and said, "Hey, I got a movie, you want to be in it?" Okay. Which naturally, once you attach Megan Fox to your low-budget film, you're pretty much guaranteed to get financed, because your pre-sales will reach that kind of number pretty easily. In fact, we were just talking about some other actors and what their worth is and what you can get financed for pretty quickly with, based on international and domestic pre-sales. But also, it was written by Will Honley, who has written a few things that have been produced, mostly on a low-budget scale, and then he did the sequel to Escape Room. I think it was like Tournament of Champions or something to that effect. That's the only thing I really recognize that he's done. Everything else has been, a couple low-budget stuff that he's got produced. And then the second writer that's credited here is April Maguire, who's done nothing. This is the first thing she's ever done. Everything else has been shorts. So you basically, outside of Will Honley, who doesn't have a huge resume, you don't have a huge group of people here that have a lot of experience behind them, but yet they were able to get a $4 million from Netflix. Although it's also distributed by Millennium. So they may have produced this thing and then sold it to Netflix. But as far as I know, it's an exclusive deal. But anyway, so Megan Fox is obviously your lead. It was good to see Madeline Zima come back. The last time I saw her, which is a while ago, I know she's done stuff in between that, was from Californication. I know she's done some other stuff as well. And then Michel Morone. He is an Italian guy. So most of the stuff that he's done has been Italian. He was okay in here. I wouldn't say that he would be my first choice, but maybe by them bringing him on, they got an Italian release that they wouldn't have gotten otherwise. Otherwise, I have no idea why to use him. But and he has way too many tattoos for being an actor, as far as I'm concerned. But and that kind of distracted me. I know he was like a construction foreman, but and plus there's a little bit of world building here with the replicants, or whatever you want to call them, but not a whole lot where a middle class family could afford something that was completely. I mean, I don't know what the payment plan is. Hey, how much is a robot with a payment plan? I don't know. Is it just the same as a car? I don't know. But it's very weird for me to think that the amount of maintenance these things would probably take and all the other stuff. I don't know. It's called a sim, is what I'm reading here. It's what they're calling, instead of replicant, it's called a sim. Of course, I'm saying replicant from Blade Runner. But this is obviously a very, very derivative script. And that's my biggest problem with it, is that we've seen it all before. We just saw Megan. Of course, it's kind of Blade Runner-ish, with the setup of things. There's plenty of low-budget films about, and there was also the Almost Human thing or whatever else about. I forgot Chen was in it. Gemma Chan. That about people in Britain that owned robots. But it doesn't feel like it's very far in the future. But it's, of course, showing that, eventually robots will take people's jobs. That's basically what it's showing. And if you want to call it AI or whatever you want to call it. But I think it's also a slow burn. But one thing is that Megan Fox plays the Terminator type of robot very, very well. Her and Arnold Schwarzenegger. They do a really good job of turning off their emotions. And I really, really enjoyed her rendition of a robot. I thought she did a good job. And I don't think she's an awful actress at all. I think she's a mediocre actress, but I don't think she's awful in any way, shape, or form. Because I even liked Rogue. I've actually watched that several times about her leading that group infiltration unit into Africa and end up having to deal with a rogue lion. I actually like that movie quite a bit. It's another low budget, so that's all she's pretty much doing right now is low budget stuff. But I think it's working for her, and this. I know a lot of people liked Carry On a lot more. I've been watching reviews of Carry On, and a lot of people really like that because it's a callback to 90s. I thought that was a very average film. Here, I thought this was a little bit above average. Because now, is it a great movie? Absolutely not. Is it a good movie? Not really. It's not really and because it's a derivative. We've seen it so many times before. There's nothing original about this. But I do kind of like the little things that they threw in. I thought the special effects with the scrape on her face and the fact that the little girl asked her, if do you brush your teeth? And she's like, no, I have an ultraviolet light, and it turns on in her mouth. And then when she had a scan, she scanned through her mouth on the floor. I thought that was really good. I thought that the fight scenes were really good as well. And she pulls out. She ends up fighting one of these guys, and she pulls out she gets his gun, and one of the other androids comes up and says, I have to protect my user, and she's like, all right, whatever, and she blows the thing's brains out. So it had some decent scenes in it, and some of the stunts were good. And I liked her rendition. I liked how they did some of the special effects. I wish that it was a little bit more in the future, but I know for $4 million, they couldn't really push it too far in the future with technology and stuff like that, and the houses changing and all that. I totally get it, but I think that's one of the things that was missing. But again, we've seen it all before, so I kind of wish they had done something turned it on its head a little bit, where it wasn't just a storyline about an android that goes nuts and wants to have the family of the other thing. I really thought that Zima, was going to die right in the beginning, but she ended up being all the way through it. So I thought there was a lot of good stuff here. Definitely, I think it was more memorable than Carry On was. Carry On, I almost forgot about it. In fact, there was a huge, great car accident in Carry On. I totally forgot about it. One of the best scenes I've ever seen as a car accident shot, and I totally forgot about it because the movie surrounding it is just so forgettable, except for Bateman. So again, but I am a fan of. I think that I know that Megan Fox is crazy as shit. I know she's crazy, but I still think she's hot, and I think I think she did a really good job of turning off the emotion in here, and I liked the whole ending. the whole action scene with the ending. And I'm going to give away a few things here. So I was a bit confused because she ended up uploading herself and then downloading herself into another body. And they changed her hair and changed a little bit of her makeup. I thought they did a really good job with that. But then you see the beat up one talking to him at the bar. And I'm like, why is she using the beat up body when she just downloaded herself into the blonde? And boom, we get an answer to that. And I really liked how they answered that. So again, again, the script is so derivative. God, you couldn't come up with something new for Megan Fox to do being a robot? What a waste. So again, it's a 6. It's a 6 out of 10. It's just slightly above average. But if you want to see Megan Fox be a robot, you could do worse. You could do worse. The production quality I thought was pretty good. And for a director that's barely done anything, I don't have any complaints, considering he was doing fight scenes, considering he was doing, sci-fi. It doesn't look like a low-budget film. So hats off to the director, but not so much the writers, because I think that it was a wasted opportunity. All right, well, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Happy holidays to everyone. Give me a like if you can. Give me a thumbs up. And if you can subscribe to the channel, please do. I basically put out stuff every day. Plus, I forgot to plug my stuff because I got into talking about Megan Fox. But these are my... this is my vampire mob set in 1950s Hollywood. This is number 2. Marilyn Monroe is in it, you can tell on the cover, and you can see that that's a Nosferatu old shadow there, considering that's going to be coming out on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. And the artwork on it is just as good as anything in Marvel and DC. This is the Marilyn cover for issue 2. There are 48 pages. There's the Were-Panther cover. I also have a nude version of that. There's the Samurai cover, the Helene cover, and this I call the Katana cover, and then this is issue 1. But again, it's the same artist in both of them, and it's lots of fun. So definitely, if you want a copy of that, let me know in the comments section. And plus, if you want to get in on some really good writers, Timothy Zahn, who created Thrawn for Star Wars. We also have Kevin J. Anderson, who's done Dune books, who's done also the Star Wars books, and plenty of stuff in the sci-fi realm. They're all grouping together to do a 50th anniversary Green Hornet anthology. We're going to be launching that in January. So go to greenhornetnoir.com. It'll take you to our Kickstarter. You get notified. You can see all of the different writers that are involved and see all the stuff they've done. And it's going to be great. So we're going to be doing signed copies, all this stuff. So definitely get notified. There's also a link in the description below as well. All right, so happy holidays again, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have an awesome week, and I will see you on the next one.